If you finish reading Rinse Your Mouth, The Amazing Philippines, Making Sense of Things, and Her Ugly Nose from the Mumog short story series, then you're ready to move on to mastery check number 4. So what I want you to do next is you're going to write about an event that has had some sort of impact on who you are today. I want you to take a look at any of the short stories that you read from lesson 8 through 11 from Perla's short stories in Mumog and mimic its style. You can use sensory details or other literary devices to describe what's going on in your story. Think of this as a free write. You can write about 2 pages, no longer than that. Just if you feel like you need to write that much, you can. You can write a page, less than that, just don't go over 2. And by 2 pages, I mean Times New Roman font and double spaced. So realistically, you're not even writing that much if it's double spaced. And what do I mean by mimic its style? Let's take a moment and look at some of the stories really quick. For example, when we look at Making Sense of Things, many of you have noticed the tone that this story evokes, and also the writing style that she uses. Every single sentence starts with because this, because my mother did this, because my mother was born here, because my father only knew basic Tagalog, because they placed Lolo and his foreign family, so on and so on. So you can mimic the style of this story where your whole story is told through sentences like because I told you this, because this happened. Or you can look at Her Ugly Nose, where we notice that the author kind of uses third person to tell the story, never really referencing who is actually speaking. We don't know if the person who hates their Filipino nose is actually Melissa herself, or if it's her sister. Later in this story, we know that her little sister asks why, but it never clarifies who is the older or younger sister. And it makes the reader think about the perspective of the story, right? Even though this is in third person, as the story is told in she does this, or she does that, or her sister does this, her sister does that. The perspective kind of changes the story. If the author is actually the little sister learning about what's going on, then she's being influenced by somebody else. Or if the author is the older sister, then we see how the author is dealing with something like internalized depression of the sort. So as much as possible, review the short stories that we've read and do your best to write your own impactful event, but using a similar style as one of Melissa Perla's stories, and I'll also provide my own example on Google Classroom. Over on Google Classroom, you're going to find something similar with the same set of instructions and a Google Doc that you will each have a copy of your own to type on. When you open the document, you're going to find something that looks like this. It's going to be pre-labeled up here in the heading. Just make sure you enter your name accordingly and change this to the appropriate period, whatever class that you're in. Make sure you change today's date over here, and if you do have a title, you can go ahead and put it. I hope those instructions were clear. Let me know if you need help with anything. And think of this assignment as kind of like a free write. Just write whatever thoughts you have. Don't feel like you need to make it perfect on this first try of writing a story. Just write about something. Just write about an impactful moment in your life that has shaped who you are today. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.